Well, hello, this is Mrs. Robertson, and today I'm recording in my 6th period class with my Math 7 at the end of the day. We are on page 575, Scale Drawings, Chapter 7, Lesson 4. Now, we had our little emergency drill, so we don't have time to do page 575. We're going to go right on to the next page. Use a scale drawing or a scale model. Scale drawings and scale models are used to represent objects that are too large or too small to be drawn or built at actual size. The scale gives the ratio that compares the measurements of the drawing or model to the measurements of the real object. The measurements on a drawing or model are proportional, we like that word in Math 7, to the measurements on the actual object. Maps are proportional. Let's talk about this map here. We have a section of Maryland. What is the actual distance between Hagerstown and Annapolis? Okay, now, step 1, use a centimeter ruler to find the map distance between the two cities. Now, kids, you don't go like from here to here. You have to follow the interstate. We're not birds flying, and you don't have a flying device, so we're driving a car along the interstate. So you want to use it to measure that distance. And it says that the distance with the centimeter ruler here is going to be 4 centimeters, okay? So step 2, we set up our proportion. Write and solve a proportion using the scale. Let D represent the actual distance between the cities. Okay, now we have map and actual, scale and length. The scale says 1 centimeter 24 miles. That is your scale. So the length on the map is 4 centimeters. What is it going to be in miles? Now here, centimeters and centimeters for the map. Actual is miles and miles. See those labels? Now this is pretty easy. 24 times 4 equals 1 times D. Well, we don't have to divide on this one, do we? 24 times 4 is 96. And D is 96 miles. Any questions on that? Okay, now you'll need to be consistent whenever you have the label of centimeters or on top with your numerator, and here we've chosen miles to be your label on the denominator. Okay, that's important. Now let's go on to letter A. On the map of Arkansas, shown, find the actual distance between Clarksville and Little Rock. Now, we're not going to pass out rulers. It's 4 centimeters. If you measured it with a ruler, you're going to get 4 centimeters. So let's set this problem up, shall we? Okay, I'm going to put scale and length, L-E-N-G-T-H. I want you to be writing this down on your paper. And I have map and actual. Okay? You can use M for map, A for actual. Now the scale. The scale says 1 centimeter on the map equals 20 miles in real life. So I'm going to put 1 centimeter, and you need to include your label, equals 20 miles. Okay? Now, what's the length on the map? The length is 4 centimeters. So this is our mystery. So how far is it actually in miles?
80 miles.
20 times 4 equals 1 times x. And 20 times 4 will be
80 miles.
80 miles. Any questions? Now this one's pretty easy because 1 times 4 is 4. So 20 times 4 will give you the answer 80 miles. Any questions on letter A? Good. Let's go on to example 2. In example 2, a graphic artist is creating an advertisement for this cell phone. These are the old ones, probably the type of cell phone that was around when you were born. If she uses a scale of 5 inches equals 1 inch, what is the length of the cell phone on the advertisement? Now here, this is much bigger than the real cell phone. It must be like this really big board, and you've got this cell phone enlarged to fit this poster. Okay, so what's the scale? 5 inches in the advertisement, but it's actually 1 inch on the little cell phone. The length. We don't know what it's going to be in the advertisement yet, but we know on the cell phone it's 4 inches. Okay? So we cross multiply, and here it's inches, 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 inches. Cross multiply, 5 times 4 is 20, 1 times A is A, 20 equals A. So the answer, 20 inches. Any questions? What is a scale? Let's look at what it says over here. The scale is the ratio of the drawing model measure to the actual measure. It is not always the ratio of a smaller measure to a larger measure. Sometimes it's larger to smaller. Okay, now we are going to do letter B. And in letter B, we have a scooter that is 3.5 feet long. Find the length of a scale model of the scooter if the scale is 1 inch equals 3/4 of a foot. Okay, so in this problem here, we're going to figure out what that will be in the problem. Okay, so here we have, let's see, where shall I put it? I'll put it above the B right here. Okay, so we are going to do 3/4. I'm going to do let's see, scale over actual. So let's do scale SC and actual. All right, so the scale here is 1 inch equals 3/4 feet. 1 inch, 3/4 feet. And that's going to equal, we have a scooter is 3.5 feet long. All right, so the length is 3.5 feet long. Find the length of a scale. So 3.5 goes here. Find the length of a scale model. The scale is X. Okay, any questions on that? So now we're going to multiply. You're going to multiply 3/4. Where is my ink pen? Here it is. I'll try this one. 3/4 times X equals 3.5 times 1. Okay? I'm going to change that to a mixed number. So that's going to be 7/2. So I'm just going to rewrite this over here because we're running out of space. No, we're going to practice with fractions. 3/4 X equals 7/2. Now we're going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal of 3/4, so X will be by itself. 4/3, 4/3. Now what does X equal? Well, 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 4 twice. You get 14/3, which equals, oh, I'm right on the line. 14/3 equals 4 2/3. Now, is this inches or feet? Inches is on top. 4 2/3 inches. Any questions on that? I'll add feet to the bottom of this one. Everyone okay? Now, there's also this thing that's called a scale factor. And a scale factor, a scale written as a ratio without units in simplest form, is called the scale factor. Okay, let's look at this example. Find the scale factor of a model sailboat if the scale is 1 inch to 6 feet. Here we have to convert 6 feet to inches. So the scale factor has to have inches and inches. So 1 inch over 6 feet is the same thing as 1 inch over 72 inches. Okay, do you see what the scale factor is? Here you want to have the same unit as a numerator and a denominator. Let's look at letter C. 1 inch over 2 feet. The scale factor for that will be 1 inch is to 24 inches. Any questions on that? Scale factor, you want your numerator and denominator labels the same. Okay, now let's go to the next problem. And in number 4, they have a floor plan for a home as shown at the left, where a 1/2 inch represents 3 feet. What is the actual area of bedroom 1? We want to find area, so you have to find the length and the width of the bedroom. So for the length, 1/2 over 3 feet equals 4 inches over what? You cross multiply, then you divide by 1/2, which means you multiply by 2 over 1. That cancels it out. W equals 12 times 2 is 24. Do you see how they got 24?
Yes.
Good. Then we do the width. 1/2 over 3, which is your scale, equals 1 inch over the actual, because the width of the bedroom is only 1 inch, okay? So when I do that, multiply both sides by 2 over 1, and you get the answer 6. So what's the area of the bedroom? Length times width. 24 times 6 gives you the answer of 144 square feet. Okay? All right, now let's do letter D. And yes, it's done for you, but let's just go over the steps. We have to find the length of bedroom 3. Bedroom 3 is 3 inches. So let's set it up. 1/2 inch over 3 feet equals 3 inches over x feet. Okay? Cross multiply. 3 times 3 is 9, and you have 1/2 x. To get rid of your 1/2 in front of the x, multiply both sides by 2, and you get 18 feet is the length. Now there's no need to do the width again because we already have the width of, it's 1 inch, and we know the width 1 inch is the same as this one here, so it's 6. 18 times 6 gives you the area of 108 feet squared. Are there any questions on this, kids? All right, so what would I like for you to do? I want you to do 1, 2, 3, and then on this page here, 1, 2, 3. Now, on number 1 on this page, from Columbia to Charleston, write down 4 centimeters. I'm not going to make you measure it. And from Hollywood to Sumter is 3 centimeters, okay? Let's see, do you need any measurements for these? No. So that's what I want you to do. Get those problems done, and that'll be it. It's your classwork and homework. You have about 8 minutes to work on this. I know we've been cut short a little bit today.